Hey guys, I'm Davemon, a challenger Pike Mid one trick who has been maining Pike Mid since the beginning of Season 9. I've hit challenger on multiple accounts, most notably with a 75% win rate. I'm currently in the top 30 on the NA ladder and I'm aiming for rank 1 this season. Today I'll be bringing you the ultimate Pike Mid guide for Season 10. This video will cover how to lane with Mid Pike, what combos to use, and how to play Pike in the mid to early to late game. Let's get started. Pike's level 1 with Hail of Blades is very potent. Hitting a hook on the enemy laner will allow you to proc all 3 of your Hail autos, which will almost always be a winning trade at level 1. Into melee champions who have a weak level 1, I like to start E. It does much more damage level 1 than hook and also stuns them for a better trade. I would only suggest doing this against champions like Qiyana, Zed, or Katarina. In this example, I'm laning versus Jensen. My first trade is my first Hail auto into hook into my next 2 Hail autos and walking away. Jensen then overcommits to punishing my hook cooldown, which I punish by pulling him into my minion wave and solo killing him. Landing your first 2 hooks against a squishy mage can mean a kill at level 1. In this trade against Syndra, I open up with a deep E onto Syndra into Q. If you E close enough to someone, you can Q immediately after and walk on top of them for the stun. I then use my W to drop minion aggro and juke her spells to win the trade. The combo I get 80% of my solo kills with is EQ Flash. The reason this combo works so well is because the Q is hiding your intention of flashing with your stun. Go for this combo if the enemy has anything below 30% HP. One small but important thing to note is when taking Doran Shield versus a poke matchup, it is very important to hold onto your gray health for as long as possible. This is because Doran Shield heals you based off your missing HP, so if you sit on your gray health, you will heal more. One of Pike's easiest but most effective combos is his Q into E. Whether it be with the stab or the hook, this combo is guaranteed if the enemy has no mobility. One important thing to know about Pike's hook is that it will always throw someone the same distance. This distance is about half of Pike's max hook range. Knowing this, you can land a hook and preemptively ulti where you know the enemy will be pulled to. Pike's highest DPS combo is available once you get Dustblade. You open up with W, then E on top of someone and immediately proc your Dustblade, which you can then guarantee the stun with and use your last 2 Hail autos while weaving in your Q and Tiamat. When ahead as Pike, this combo will one-shot squishies every single day of the week. One of the reasons Pike's roaming is so good is because of his stealth. In this example, I execute a fake roam, where I make it look like I'm roaming bot lane, but in reality I'm going top. I do this by pathing to my bot side, then using my W to change my direction. This makes the enemy mid laner spam ping his bot lane, while in reality his top laner is the one getting ganked. One of the biggest weaknesses of Pike's ult is how easy it is to flash out of. One way to counteract this weakness is by covering panic flashes. What I mean by panic flash is where the enemy flashes straight away from the Pike ult without actually looking at where the ulti was placed. In both of these examples, I aim the center of my ulti ahead of the enemy to cover a panic flash. Make sure you E through the Nexus just to get back to lane a tiny bit faster. The goal of Pike's early game is to snowball off of the enemy laner. Whether it be from jungle ganks or solo kills, your goal is to get Tiamat and Moby Boots as soon as possible. Once you get those 2 items, the opportunities for roaming become very easy. Pike's mid game is his strongest point of the game. You want to focus on pushing out side lanes and playing around vision to make picks. Buying sweeper and clearing the enemy's vision is extremely important for Pike. For mid-game teamfights, patience is of the utmost importance. Choosing the right time to go in can be the difference between winning a teamfight and losing it. Pike's late game is his weakest stage of the game. This is mainly because of items like Zonias and GA. Late game for Pike is all about making picks and playing off your teammates who hopefully scale well. If you have a full AD comp with Pike in the late game, you should just go next. My least favorite matchups for Pike mid are Diana, Akali, and Irelia. These champions are very difficult to lane against as Pike and are also difficult to set up ganks on. If I were to suggest a champion to ban every game when picking Pike mid, it would be Diana. That champion deserves to be gutted. This is my go-to rune page for Pike mid. There are many different secondaries you can run on Pike, but Resolve gives you the best lane phase. Second Wind is fantastic for regenning and poke matchups. For starting items, it's going to be dependent on the matchup. In a poke lane, someone like Cassie, Orianna, Ryze, or Yasuo, you should start D-Shield. And to assassins like Katarina, Zed, or Kiana, Longsword or D-Blade start is very good. D-Shield start is the most forgiving, so if you are just now starting to learn Pike mid, you should start D-Shield into every matchup. The build for Pike mid almost every game is going to be Tiamat Moby's Rush into Ghostblade, Dustblade, and Edge of Night. Stopwatch is also a necessity if you have a shutdown larger than 300 gold. Ghostblade Rush is the most optimal because of its capabilities with roaming. To finish out my build, I am almost always building GA and Death Stance. If I have a 1k shutdown, I am building my GA as soon as possible. Death Stance is a great item because of the stats it gives and how well its passive synergizes with Pike's Grey health. Building Sanguine Blade is only good for pressuring a side lane. You can either finish your Tiamat into a Ravenous or a Titanic, they're both pretty good options. If you're playing against an assassin like Rengar or Zed, Phantom Dancer can be a great choice to survive their burst. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my Pike mid guide. If you enjoyed the video, consider tossing a sub to my channel. I stream almost every day over at twitch.tv/xdavemon, which I'll have a link to in the description. I plan on making more content like this in the future, so let me know if you have any feedback in the comments below. Appreciate it, guys.